Hello, BookTube. I would ordinarily apologize for coming to you in a t-shirt, but in this case, I wear it with pride. This is an Alabama t-shirt, Roll Tide, that was sent to me by one of my favorite viewers and constitutes my very first piece of BookTube swag. And in the wonderful note that she included, she said, "What do you get for someone who has all the books?" And instead of following up that question with the answer that I get from so many people in my life, which is some variation on, "I'll bet you don't have this one." Instead of doing that, she decided to get me an article of clothing with the name of one of the many, many, many millions of places where I have been. I think that's wonderful. I don't know what I would do if that became a trend. All of a sudden I started getting named shirts from everywhere that I've been, because they don't make storage closets big enough for all those places. But anyway, I come to you today with a tag. I wasn't specifically tagged by anybody, but I remain a dyed-in-the-wool, card-carrying, due-paying narcissist, and I just couldn't resist it. I saw it on Elizabeth Schubert's channel, and it is the new To BookTube Tag, which you might think, some of you have been watching my channel for a while, you might think, wait a minute, didn't you do the BookTube newbie tag to start out with? Wasn't that your first video? And it's slightly different from that one. Which is the only justification I need. That and the fact that, despite the fact that I do a video every day, I am still new to BookTube. I haven't even been doing this a year. Not completely sure that I've even been doing it half a year, which feels kind of strange to say for something that's such a part of my life now. So it's something I look forward to. But it's just a dozen or so questions, and I like them, so I thought we'd just rifle right through them. I have them on my iPad here, so that I won't have to move, because it's quite hot. So the question number one is, where are you joining us from? I'm joining you from Boston, Massachusetts, the home of the bean and the cod, where the Lowells talk only to the Cabots, and the Cabots talk only to God. Boston right now is under something the meteorologists in their sadomasochistic glee are referring to as a heat dome. Mid-90s, sultry, every day, with no relief really in sight. They're looking forward and saying, in 5 or 6 days, but their models don't go out that far, so it could stay that way. You never know. But I wouldn't be anywhere else, hot or cold. Question number 2: how old are you? I am 28, and I'm not happy about it. Staring down the barrel of the big 3-0 when life starts to go downhill. Best not to talk about it. Question number 3: why did you join BookTube? I know this will be a common answer, but it looked like fun. It really did. That's the long-term answer. The short-term answer as to the why I actually did it was Chris Rhodes and Giselle Bradley. Remember back in 2002 and 2003 when they had a BookTube channel? Oh, the old days. They convinced me that in addition to it looking like fun, it was fun that I could actually partake of, that I actually could do it. And they turned out to be right. Question number 4: what did your channel name come from? Well, my channel name is my name. I was originally going to call my channel after my intergalactically famous book blog, Steve Reads. But when he learned of this, Steven from Steve Reads Books Skyped me and said, "If you do that, I will end you like a period ends a declarative sentence." So I didn't. Bookworms aren't ever very threatening, are they? Just keep that between us. Question number 5: what types of books do you read or talk about here? I know this is a common answer, but all types. I try not to restrict myself, either in terms of what I read or in terms of what I natter pointlessly about, like Grandpa Simpson. Question number 6: who are some of your favorite authors? Well, I just had a to-do about this in my comments field of a recent video. I'm tempted to sarcastically say that my favorite authors are the small handful of authors whose works I haven't read. But no, I have a lot of favorite authors. I have some that are predictable and old from the canon, Homer and Horace. But I also love the cadre of dead 19th century white guys that are now completely out of favor. And he might never be coming back. You never know. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, absolutely love him. William Dean Howells, biggest fan. Who do I have here? Tennyson. I've recited his poetry on this channel. And most of all, probably, in fact, my favorite author of all, if you go by pound weight of I've read everything and I love it all, would be John Dryden. And you don't get further out of fashion right now than John Dryden. Anyway, you asked. Oh, no, you didn't. Well, it doesn't matter. Question number 7. What's the last book you read? I just finished it, and I have a picture of it. It was this one, Sunlight Pilgrims by Jenny Fagan. A dystopia sets in the immediate future, in which is freezing cold instead of the current climatological prediction of it being boiling hot. But I originally thought that would be a stumbling block for me to enjoy the book, but it's really good. It doesn't matter. And let's see here. Question number... oh, wait, I did that wrong. That's the book I'm currently reading. That was question number 8. Question number 7 is, what's the last book you read? Doesn't matter, because they were both today. But the last book I read was this one, which I just can't praise high enough. The Dry by Jane Harper, set in Australia, and oh my God, the book is wonderful anyway, biting and gripping, but in addition to all that, I can't believe this is her debut novel. It's just, her ability to evoke Australia is just incredible. I would assume it's one of the only places I've never been, so don't be sending me Australia merchandise, because I haven't seen your lovely country. But anyway, it's those two, and they roughly fall in the same category. Question number 9. What do you use for bookmarks? I have all sorts of bookmarks, usually from bookstores where I have worked or shopped. But the thing I kind of like, the kind that I like, is the ones with tassels. I've got one for Star Trek here. I've got one for the Tao Te Ching. I've got one for the Grimm Superman. But I've got a bunch of them, and I like them. There's something neat about seeing the bookmark from the outside of the book, even when it's spined on a shelf. You can see where it is. Question number 10. Show us your current TBR pile. Now this is going to be quick, because it's I eat through my TBR pile, so it never lasts for very long. And it's 3 books that I want to show you. The first one is this one. It's a romance, tailor-made for trouble, with one of those photo covers that I'm not quite sure what I think about them. My first impulse was to dislike them, because a photo takes away the idea that you're imagining the hero or heroine in the story. You're looking at them instead. But now I'm not so sure. They have a kind of playfulness to them that I like, so the jury's out on it. And then this is by Frances Carlin Santamaria. This is A Room in Athens. This is a very nice-looking reprint of a memoir that she did of a time she spent in Athens. The book came out in, I think, 1970 originally, and it was originally called Joshua Firstborn. He's the one in the stroller. And somebody decided to reprint it. That's one of the things I love, is that you can never predict who will reprint what. Someone somewhere read this when it first came out, loved it. I don't think I read it when it first came out. Someone read it, loved it, and just stored it away for a rainy day, and eventually ended up in a position at a publishing house where they could say, here's something I want us to do. I want to bring it back. That's just awesome. And there's no way to predict that, so it could happen to any book. And the last one is this, The Terror Years by Lawrence Wright, the author of The Looming Tower. This is his forthcoming study. I think it's forthcoming I think it's in August, of the rise of radical Islam in the world. So pretty bitter reading, but I got to do it anyway, because I would read it anyway, because he's really, really good. But in addition to that, I have to because I'm reviewing it. And that's why I'm reading it. That's why it's on my TBR, because this is the last jot and tittle go through before I actually sit down to start writing words. Let's see here. Question number 11. Which do you prefer, hardcover or paperback, ebooks or printed books, owning or borrowing? I'm all over the map on this one. I own obviously, not borrow, but ebooks are so convenient, and I love them. Hardcovers are great for something that is going to stand a battering, but paperbacks aren't as heavy and don't take up as much space. I'm really kind of flexible. In fact, more flexible than I thought I would be. When formats started appearing, I thought I would be a dyed-in-the-wool conservative, but I'm not. I estimate the form by what function it has to serve. Question number 12. What book or series got you into reading? Homer. Believe it or not. Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. Calls them like I sees them. That's just the way it is. Question number 13. How did you discover BookTube? You know, in the last 6 months, I've been racking my brains to figure out where and when I actually started knowing there was a thing called BookTube, and I haven't been able to pin it down yet. By the end of the year, I will have to, so I'll have to research a little more, but and I'll report back. But I'm sure glad I did. Question number 14. What challenges do you think you'll face with your channel? I think they'll be technical. I know I said that in my BookTube newbie tag all those months ago, but I think it's still true. I was filming videos on my MacBook and it was going fine, and then the thing just crapped out on me, stopped doing it. And no teenager that I've had look at it has yet been able to tell me why, and it still won't do it. So, of course, the thing that's on my mind is what happens if this iPhone craps out? Then where am I? I could try on the iPad, but what happens if that craps out? I'm just not used to Apple products crapping out. I really ought to just take it to the Apple Store and see what they can do. I'll do that once the heat dome lifts. And question number 15, where else can we find you? I'm all over the place. I'm on Open Letters Monthly, the online literary journal where I'm the managing editor. I host a book blog there and also write reviews, plenty of reviews for the main site. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Goodreads, and I really need a kick in the behind because a lot of you are on Goodreads, and it's just another community I could be enjoying, and I just haven't gotten into the habit of it, and I should. And of course, you know, here on BookTube, where I get my email address out all the time. So if you want to email me, feel free. I'd love to do that. And that's it. That is the new To BookTube tag, and now it's all left for me to tag people, and I have some people to tag. I want to tag Jeremy, Jer Sings and Reads. I want to tag Miranda Hayes. I want to tag a new channel I just found called Very Pragmatic, Petra, Very Pragmatic. And I want to tag an adorable show that I just discovered, the ladies at the Bedtime Book Club, and Jack the Bibliophile, all relatively new to BookTube. So feel free to do this tag. It's a lot of fun. And thank you, BookTube.